Alright, what is up everybody? It's your boy and today, we're diving headfirst into something absolutely epic. I'm talking about Mizoram, this insane hidden gem tucked away in northeast India. Seriously, if this place isn't on your radar, you're missing out, big time. I just spent a week there and let me tell you, it blew my mind. We're talking landscapes that look like they're straight out of a movie. A tribal culture that's so rich and vibrant it makes your head spin. And these moments of pure unadulterated peace that you just can't find anywhere else. So, if you're like me, always chasing that next adventure, always looking for something real, something that hits different, then you gotta stick around. I'm not just gonna show you pictures, I'm gonna take you there. We're gonna explore the crazy winding roads, meet the people, taste the food, the whole deal. This isn't just a travel vlog, this is an experience. I've mapped out the ultimate 7-day itinerary. A blueprint for you to grab life by the horns and explore the raw beauty of Mizoram. Get ready, because we're not holding back. This is Mizoram, unfiltered, through my eyes. We're talking mountains, waterfalls, ancient villages, maybe even some local wine, who knows what we'll get into. So buckle up, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, because you are not going to want to miss a single second of this. This is the Mizoram adventure you didn't know you needed. Let's go. Alright, day one. Boom! Wheels down at Lengpui Airport. The air, the sounds, the vibe, it's not your typical city hustle. There's this anticipation, like you're on the cusp of something major. Mizoram. The adventure begins now. The drive from Lengpui to Aizawl, man, that's an experience in itself. Winding climbing roads carved into massive green hills. And when I say green, I mean green. It's a bit of a roller coaster, but the views, absolutely insane. And then Aizawl, the city just sort of appears. Clinging to the hillsides, houses stacked like colorful Lego blocks. It's not like any city I've ever seen. First stop after dropping my bags had to be the Millennium Center. This place is like the beating heart of Aizawl's shopping scene. Then I decided to get a dose of culture, hit up the Mizoram State Museum. It's packed with artifacts, traditional costumes, weapons, the whole history of the Mizo people laid out. Day 2. Alarm goes off, it's stupid early. Like, still dark outside early. But some things are worth dragging yourself out of bed for. And a sunrise over Durtlang hills? Yeah, that's one of them. So, coffee, quick gear check, and I'm out the door. The city is still asleep, quiet, a totally different vibe from the daytime hustle. There's a certain magic to pre-dawn explorations. And I was chasing that magic, chasing that sunrise. The drive up to Durtlang hills, even in the pre-dawn light, was something else. You can feel the altitude changing, the air getting crisper. And then you get there, find a spot and just wait. And as that first hint of light starts to paint the sky, washing over the endless rolling hills of Mizoram, man, it's breathtaking. Seriously, no camera, no words can truly capture it. It's one of those moments where you just stand there completely humbled by the sheer scale and beauty of nature. It makes you feel small, but in a good way. The sun eventually bursts over the horizon, flooding the valleys with golden light, revealing Aizawl spread out below like a miniature city. It's a photographer's dream, an artist's inspiration, and for me, just a moment of pure, unadulterated awe. This is why I travel. For moments exactly like this. It sets the tone for the whole day, fills you with this incredible energy. If you come to Aizawl, you have to do this. No excuses, just get up and go. You won't regret it, I promise. Next up after that soul-stirring sunrise was something completely different but equally stunning. Solomon's Temple. Now this isn't some ancient, crumbling ruin. This is a relatively new, massive, gleaming white structure, and it is seriously impressive. It's located in a really picturesque area, and the temple itself, with its intricate designs and sheer size, just commands your attention. Day 3, and you know what that means? Road trip. Today was all about getting out of the city and diving deep into Mizoram's natural wonders. First on the agenda, Vantawng Falls. I'd seen pictures, heard the hype Mizoram's tallest waterfall. You know I can't resist a good waterfall chase. The drive itself was part of the adventure. More winding roads, more incredible scenery unfolding around every bend. The landscape here just keeps on giving. Getting to Vantawng Falls involves a bit of a journey, but man, is it worth it. You can hear it before you see it, that distant roar of water. And then you round a corner and there it is. This massive, powerful cascade plunging down into the lush green valley below. It's seriously spectacular. The sheer force of the water, the height, the way it carves through the landscape, it's a proper display of nature's power. I just stood there for a while, mesmerized. You can't get right up to the base of Vantawng easily. It's viewed from a distance, which actually adds to its majesty. It's framed perfectly by the surrounding cliffs and jungle. It makes you feel incredibly small, in the best possible way. Taking photos, shooting video, it almost feels inadequate. Some things you just have to experience with your own eyes, your own senses. This is one of them. If you're a nature lover, a waterfall fanatic, Vantawng is non-negotiable. Put it on the list. After soaking in the grandeur of Vantawng, the next stop was Infinite Aizawl Park. Now this place was a bit of a surprise. Alright, day 4, time to push further east, like way east. Today's mission, Champhai. This town is right near the Myanmar border and you can feel that frontier vibe. The journey itself is a significant part of the day, a long drive, but trust me, the scenery just keeps getting more and more epic. We're talking dramatic landscapes, terraced rice paddies clinging to the hillsides, and glimpses of distant mountains that just take your breath away. It's a constant visual feast. Champhai itself is a bustling little town, a trading hub, and it's got a different energy from Aizawl. It feels a bit more rugged, a bit more off the beaten path. You can see the influence of its proximity to Myanmar and the goods, maybe even in the faces of the people. I love border towns, there's always something unique about them, a blend of cultures, a sense of being on the edge of something. And Champhai definitely has that allure. It's a gateway and you feel it. The main draw for me, the reason I was so stoked to get to Champhai, was Tam Dil Lake. Now here's the kicker, this legendary heart-shaped lake is actually in Myanmar, but it's deeply connected to Mizo folklore. It's believed to be the passage of souls to their eternal abode. Chapter 5, Day 5, Conquering Mountains and Mizo Crafts. Day 5, and today was all about adventure with a capital A. We're heading to Serchip, and the main event? A trek to Phong Pui, also known as the Blue Mountain. This isn't just any hill, people. This is Mizoram's highest peak. The name itself sounds epic, right? Blue Mountain. I was ready for a challenge, ready for some insane views, and ready to push myself a little. That's what these trips are all about, getting out of your comfort zone. The journey to the base of Phong Pui is an adventure in itself, winding roads, remote landscapes, and then the trek begins. It's not Everest, but it's a proper hike, demanding and rewarding. The air gets thinner, the path gets steeper, but with every step, the views get more and more spectacular. You're surrounded by this incredible biodiversity, rhododendrons, orchids, unique flora and fauna. It's like walking through a natural paradise, reaching the summit of Phong Pui. Man, that's a feeling. You're literally on top of Mizoram. The panoramic views are just out of this world, endless layers of hills fading into the distance, clouds drifting below you. Chapter 6, Day 6, Wild Sanctuaries and Rock-Solid Sunsets. Day 6, and the adventure continues. We're heading further south into Lunglei District, ready for some more offbeat exploration. First up on the agenda, Saza Wildlife Sanctuary. Now I'm always down for a chance to spot some wildlife in its natural habitat. These sanctuaries are so important for conservation, and they offer a glimpse into the wilder side of Mizoram. You never know what you might see, and that's part of the thrill. Getting to Saza involves navigating through some pretty remote areas, which for me is always a plus. The sanctuary itself is dense with vegetation, a haven for various species of animals and birds. We're talking potential sightings of deer, wild boars, maybe even some elusive jungle cats if you're incredibly lucky. It's not a zoo. Sightings are never guaranteed, which makes any encounter even more special. It's about being patient, observant, and respectful of the environment. Chapter 7, Day 7, the world's biggest family and saying goodbye, for now. Day 7, the final day. Bittersweet always. You're buzzing from all the experiences, but you also know the adventure is winding down. But Mizoram had one last, absolutely mind-blowing surprise for me before I headed home, Baktong Village. And this isn't just any village, this is home to what's often called the world's largest family. Seriously, one man, Puziona, with dozens of wives and nearly 100 children all living together. The drive to Baktong, which is on the way back towards Aizawl, was filled with anticipation. I'd read about this family, seen documentaries, but to actually go there? That's something else entirely. The family lives in this massive multi-story house called Chuan Thar Run, or House of the New Generation. It's like a small community in itself, and they're incredibly welcoming to visitors. So there you have it, 7 days in Mizoram. What an absolute whirlwind. This place, man, it's something else. If you're a nature lover, forget about it. The hills, the waterfalls, the sheer greenery will blow your mind. If you're an adventure seeker, get ready to trek mountains, explore caves, and navigate some wild roads. And if you're a culture enthusiast like me, the rich tribal heritage, the traditions, the warmth of the Mizo people, it's an experience that will stay with you long after you've left. It's got something for everyone, seriously. This itinerary, it's a starting point. It's what I did, what I loved. But Mizoram is a place you can make your own. Maybe you want to spend more time trekking, or dive deeper into the local cuisine, or explore even more remote villages. That's the beauty of it. And hey, if you're thinking about planning your own Mizoram adventure and need a hand, or want a customized plan, hit me up in the comments. I'm always stoked to talk travel and help you guys out. This journey was for me, Satnam, but I share it so it can be for you too. Alright, that's a wrap on this Mizoram series. I poured my heart into this one because this place is genuinely special. If you felt the vibe, if you got inspired, if you're even remotely thinking about checking out Northeast India, do your boy a favor. Hit that like button, share this video with someone who needs to see it, and definitely subscribe for more travel itineraries and adventures. Because trust me, there's a lot more where this came from. Until next time, stay adventurous, keep exploring, and go make some stories. Peace.